They chose the alley because it was narrow. They chose the hour because the station lights dimmed. They chose her because she walked slow. She carried a small case in one hand. Her coat hung loose on thin shoulders. Her steps were careful. Her breathing sounded shallow. 3 figures waited where the service corridor bent. They shared one body. 3 necks rose from a heavy torso. 3 heads watched with patient hunger. Triarch hunters, bonded since birth. 3 minds, 1 kill. They saw the tremor in her wrist. They saw the slight hitch in her walk. They tasted fear on the air. They agreed without words. Easy. The station clock chimed the hour. The lights dipped. The woman slowed. The hunters stepped out together. Metal claws clicked on stone. 1 head smiled. 1 head hissed. 1 head calculated angles. The woman stopped. She did not scream. She did not run. She only raised her eyes. Her pupils dilated. Her jaw tightened. Her shoulders dropped. The hunters advanced. That was when her neurolink woke. The case slipped from her fingers. It hit the ground with a dull sound. Her hands rose, empty. Inside her skull, a lattice of light unfolded. It mapped distance. It mapped motion. It mapped intent. 3 heads, 3 spines, 3 neural signatures. Lock acquired. Time stretched thin. The station noise faded. Only data remained. She felt the ache in her bones. She felt the weakness in her lungs. She felt the weight of years spent pretending to be small. She let it go. The first head lunged. Its jaws opened wide. Her left hand snapped up. A pulse flared. Sound vanished. The head froze. Eyes wide. Muscles locked. The second head shrieked. It tried to pull back. Her right hand turned. Another pulse struck. The scream cut off. The neck stiffened. The head slumped sideways. The third head reacted last. It always thought last. It always planned. It reached for the blade at its belt. Her neurolink predicted the move before thought formed. A third pulse fired. All 3 heads locked. All 3 minds trapped in silence. The body staggered, then fell. The alley was still. The woman stood there, breathing hard. Sweat ran down her temples. Her knees shook. She leaned against the wall. She waited until the tremor passed. A station drone hummed overhead. Its lens flicked toward the fallen hunter. Then to her, she met its gaze. The drone paused. It logged the scene. It moved on. She crouched and picked up the case. Her fingers steadied. Inside the case lay tools of quiet violence. Emitters, charges, interfaces. She closed it again. People thought neurolinks were for pilots, for soldiers, for elites. They thought frail meant harmless. They were wrong. She walked on. The station concourse opened ahead. Crowds moved in steady flows. Voices overlapped. No one noticed the thin woman merging with them. Her name was Mara Ives. She had once been a weapons architect. She had once designed systems that ended wars in minutes. That was before the Accord, before the ban, before humanity agreed to stop winning so decisively. Mara had agreed to, on paper. In truth, she had walked away with one last design, a private design, a design that lived in her head. The neurolink was not a weapon. It was an interface. It connected intent to action without delay. It did not make her strong. It made her precise. She reached the lift bank. She waited. She breathed. A child bumped into her leg. She smiled softly. The lift doors opened. She stepped inside. As the lift rose, her thoughts drifted. Not to the hunters. They were tools. Not to fear. That had burned out long ago. She thought of Earth. The colonies had learned the wrong lesson from humanity. They thought humans were clever. They thought humans were adaptable. They did not understand stubbornness. They did not understand refusal. Mara stepped off the lift on the upper ring. The lights were brighter here, the air cleaner. Her destination lay ahead. A council hall. A place where words mattered. She entered through a side door. Security scanned her. The Neurolink stayed quiet. She took a seat at the back. The council was in session. Species from a dozen worlds argued in careful tones. A triarch delegate spoke. Its 3 heads moved in practiced harmony. It spoke of trade, of balance, of unfortunate incidents. Mara watched it closely. The hunters in the alley had been scouts. She knew that. They always sent scouts. She waited. At last, the delegate paused. It looked toward the back of the hall. 3 sets of eyes met hers. Recognition flickered. Mara stood. She walked down the aisle. Whispers followed. She stopped before the central dais. She placed the case on the floor. She did not open it. She spoke. Her voice was calm. It carried, "You sent hunters after me. You failed." The triarch delegate shifted. It smiled with one mouth. It said this was a misunderstanding. Mara shook her head. She tapped her temple. The Neurolink hummed. The air tightened. Security tensed. Mara continued. "You think humans are fragile. You see our bodies. You miss the rest." She looked around the chamber. "We do not win by strength. We win by choosing when to stop pretending." Silence spread. The triarch delegate tried to speak. Its words froze. All 3 heads locked. Gasps filled the hall. Mara did not smile. "This is a demonstration," she said. Nothing more. She released the lock. The delegate sagged, alive, shaken. Mara turned away. She walked back up the aisle. She picked up her case. At the door, she paused. "Tell your hunters to stay home," she said. "Humans are tired of being polite." She left. The hall erupted behind her. Mara stepped into the light of the upper ring. Her chest hurt. Her joints ached. She welcomed the pain. It meant she was still human. She moved with the crowd. Small, unremarkable. Somewhere a report would be filed. Somewhere a warning would spread. They would remember the alley. They would remember the lock. They would remember that frail did not mean weak, and humanity would buy itself a little more peace, not by asking, but by reminding the galaxy who decided the rules in the first place.